this game is leaving almost everyone out and accelerates on marginalized communities.
Watch how simple the REI Rail app makes wholesale investing. REI Rail offers the data needed to find and make the best offers for wholesaling. Geo-tracking allows you to get all the info you need at a property. And with voice activation, you don't need to risk your safety writing details while driving. So play it safe with REI Rail. And if you have any questions, the Deal Desk will help answer your questions about any property. Go with REI Rail app and simplify your wholesale experience. Click the link to start a free 14-day trial today.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show, the one and only Grant Cardone. Now, Grant, I see you everywhere. You are the guy on social media. You're also, one of the top investors in this country, and people learn a lot from you. Tell me what you got going on here, because I know you're up to something.
I'm always up to something, man. I'm trying to skin this game, right? So, if you know anything about my life, I grew up, in a lower middle class family, single mom, and I've been trying to figure out the game since I was 10 years old, watching my mom suffer, trying to pay the bills, terrified, didn't have any income coming in. And most of the people on my social media platforms, from Instagram to TikTok, they're in the same situation I was in.
Uh-huh.
I can hear them, man. I can hear people, on the come up, wanting to come up, starting their own businesses, doing the hustle, trying to, doing all this stuff. 90% of, by the way, is just energy going out and, dispersed energy going all these places that really won't result in anything, because the game, I'm 63 years old, man. I figured out about 8 years ago, this game is rigged.
It is.
Tight.
It is.
It is tied down. It is tied down so tight, it's crazy. And I don't know when I finally discovered, it was right after the 2010 bust, the housing bust. And I watched 30 million people lose their homes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, God dang, man. We told everybody they should buy a house, and then they buried people in them.
You're right. They got over leveraged.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and they allowed that to happen. That shit just didn't happen by itself.
Correct. Yeah, somebody got rich off of it, didn't they?
Somebody let that happen. So I started studying, hey, why does this happen every 10 or 12 years?
Mm-hmm.
How do I protect myself? I almost got hurt in 2008, 9, and 10.
Okay.
I had busted my ass for 25 years, saving money, paying stuff off, no debt. The only debt I had was on my income producing real estate, which got me through. It got me through 2010. And when I had about $50 million worth of debt. I know that the people are like, 50 million. Yeah, I owed 50 million. And I always paid. I was never late. And when the bank was forgiving everybody's loans, they called me up and said, hey, man, we need you to pay your loans off. I said, what do you mean, dude? I'm the only one that hadn't done anything wrong here. They're like, look, we're calling you because we know you can pay.
We know you got it.
Dude, that was a wake-up call right there. I'm like, oh, shit. I went and told my wife, I said, the next time this happens, I said, it's going to be probably 10 or 12 years before it happens again, 2020, 21, 22. I told her that 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I said, the next time this happens, I'm going to owe the banks at least $500 million, not 50 million. And she's like, well, how's that going to help you? Things would just be worse if you owed them more money. I said, no, man, I'm going to owe them so much next time. They're not going to call and ask me to collect. They're going to call and ask me, how can we help?
Because you're going to be so far in bed with them, they can't make that phone call.
I'm going to be part of their intestines. Okay. And that's really, I'm joking about it a little bit, but I owe them about $2 billion today, 40 times what I owed them last time. And they can't move without knowing, hey, we're partners with Grant Cardone. Exactly. Now, I'm just telling everybody that listening to your audience right now, you guys have to learn this finance game. It's a different game than your moms and dad, uncles and aunts, and your gramps played. Okay, they were trying to pay everything off. They were trying to earn money. You really, in today's society, you don't really want to earn money. You have to do that in the beginning. But what you want to do is you want to get money or equity. You really want money to become equity. And you want the equity to go up. Elon Musk posted or tweeted Sunday. He's like, I know there's a lot of talk about the capital gains tax. He said, but you guys need to understand, and there's a lot of talk about billionaires paying taxes. He's like, you guys need to understand, I don't earn income. I only pay taxes when I sell shares of my Tesla. And so like people need to understand that's the game. My dad wanted to earn more money. My dad wanted to get into the middle class. My dad wanted a better job. My dad wanted to have more money so he could buy a house, so he could pay it off. He could buy life insurance for the family. He could pay that off. He could have money left over for a savings account or a money market or, stuff, right? But you see, that's not the game, guys. The game is to study the top wealthiest people in the world. And what they're doing is they're getting, Jay-Z talks about equity. He's like, yeah, you going for the advance, I'm going for the equity. And when you're on the up, when you're trying to get up, you're trying to get that advance. You want the bag so bad that we never learn how to keep it, and then we never learn how to multiply it. So the past, yeah, go ahead.
No, so you're basically saying, listen, go out, bust your ass, get that money in the beginning, but you need to turn that money into something that's passive because the most taxes you're going to pay is on earned income.
That's right. So the game now is trade time for money, earned income. Take all the earned income and invest it, all of it. Do not change. Don't go buy Richards. I got a little Richard on right now. I got a little Richard on my, but don't go buy Richard or bracelets or Gucci or, the Fendi shoes. Don't go buy all that stuff, with earned income. Earned income should always become investments. All of it, 100% of it. Like I'm telling you guys need to become fanatics. Like literally earned income. Don't even feed your kids. Okay. Like become almost don't have any kind of, you don't have fancy cars, no house, nothing. Just take earned income, use all the earned income to buy assets like I have behind me that I get to write off and that provide me with passive income. So I invest in this thing in December. In January, I get a check. It's going to be a little tiny check in the beginning. And that is what you guys can spend. And you can spend it all. You can spend it on Richard, Gucci, kids, trips. You don't even have to worry about what you're spending on as long as it's out of passive income, not earned.
Got it. So that makes a ton of sense. So you got it out of the mud, right? So you became a billionaire by getting it out of the mud. And my audience, they're trying to get it out of the mud. So looking at you, you're going to say, listen, this is possible. So go ahead.
I just heard that term recently, man. A guy kept asking me, he's like, so you came up from the mud. I'm like, what you mean, bro? I was in Louisiana. Yeah. That's where we got our bed bugs from. That's where we got our crawdads out of the mud. Right. And I kept thinking he was giving me some Louisiana slang. And then after the show, I was like, man, this guy kept asking me if I'm out of the mud. What does he mean? So you guys, I love your community because it's got so many little rhymes and ways of saying things. But yeah, dude, I'm a self-made guy. Like I've been beat up. I had 70 stitches put in my head and face when I was 23 years old, beat up. Guy came in my house to teach me a lesson, put a 45 caliber pistol across my face, in my head. And I was rolling with some bad people, and I didn't have a dad. It's not like I had a drug problem, but the drugs weren't the problem. I didn't have any leadership in my life.
Yeah, you didn't have
and when you got a lot of energy, and you got a lot of you got ambition, that energy and ambition can get misdirected. And in my case, it did. So I was in debt. I was the black sheep of my family. I was disrespected by my community, rightfully so, by the way. I was in treason to my family and to myself and to my God. I was in treason. I was a treasonous person. I was a criminal. And I'm not saying that to be proud. I'm a criminal because I was stealing from myself and my name and my potential. I was ripping myself off every day. And hanging with people that could no way, shape, or form enhance the quality of my life. So went to treatment. I went to a treatment center for drug addiction, got off the drugs, and started rebuilding my life at 25 to get where I'm at today.
And so now you've been investing in commercial real estate. You said what, 20, 25 years now?
Yeah, I've been buying real estate since I was 28 years old.
Okay.
My first real deal was 31. I was 31 years old. I borrowed $350,000 to buy a piece of real estate. The real estate was 1.9 million. I borrowed the 350 for the down payment. So I was like 100% loan, and I made almost $5 million on that deal.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was hooked.
So
And I was working the rest of the time I was working to grind out money, selling stuff, pitching businesses. I mean, I used to spend time on the road, cold calling companies, knocking on doors. Hey Max, give me 5 minutes to show you something, like I've done all those hustles.
So now you're fast forward here. Now we're in 2021. You got this project, and I'm assuming that's what's behind you right there, that beautiful Miami skyline.
Yeah, well, this is one project that I'm working on right now. Actually, I just kind of start putting my future out in front of me. It's surrounding myself with the future. But we're doing a deal right now. This deal, this has never been done before. What I'm about to show you guys. Mm-hmm. This is a $200+ million transaction.
Okay.
456 units in Fort Lauderdale, and I opened this up to the everyday investor. This has never, ever been done in the United States of America, where a trophy, Class A, Triple A property, Triple A location. This is an institutional quality asset. These assets that we're buying today. These are typically reserved for the wealthiest companies in the world, not people. This isn't Elon Musk money. This is above that money.
It's everybody pulling their money. Yeah, pulling their money together.
These companies are worth trillions of dollars that typically buy these. And I figured out how to hack the system, get in and buy it before the big banks can. Blackstone, Goldman, JP Morgan. I'm not talking about Elon and Warren and Jay-Z money. I'm talking about these companies I'm buying this stuff from. Dude, like they could write Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs' estate, and you could throw in a couple other names there. They could write them one check and make them disappear. This company right here that I bought this deal from, that I'm looking at working on, they're worth about 10 trillion. Not 10 billion, 100 billion.
10 trillion.
So what we're doing is I'm democratizing these investments. This has never been done before, so that the everyday investor with as little as $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000, $20,000 can invest in real assets that provide passive income and long-term appreciation.
So let's talk about that. So in before, you had to be what they call an accredited investor, right? You had to be making $200,000+. You had to be worth over $1 million, not including your personal home.
Right. And
so that in itself was, in my opinion, systemic way to not allow the everyday person to get their piece, because 80% of commercial real estate is owned by the top 10% people in the country.
Exactly. And the best real estate is owned by less than 0.1% of the people in the country. Most real estate in this country is garbage, by the way. Not all real estate is created equal.
Mm-hmm, correct.
So what happened was, and this goes back to 2010. I mean, this has been an old scam the banks have been running down on the people for a long time, man. Back when ranches in the 1800s, they got people to borrow money on ranches, and then they took the ranches away. Fast forward 100 years. They did the same thing in 2010. They got people to borrow money on houses, took the houses away. Mm-hmm. Blackstone bought 10,000 condos in Miami in 2010, filled them up with renters, turned the entire portfolio into a piece of paper called a bond, sold it to your grandmother, paid her a dividend, took all the money out of the bond offering, paid no taxes on the event. Okay. People have to start following the model of the biggest players on the planet.
Got it.
And buying one house is not the thing. Most people are getting tied up in one house and think, I own some real estate. No, actually, that's not an investment. So you alluded to this a few minutes ago. This game is leaving almost everyone out and accelerates on marginalized communities that never get a shot at income producing, much less trophy assets that have the kind of scale. This building that I showed you, the next time it sells, it will sell for $500 million. And my investors are going to benefit in that. Some of them putting as little as $1,000, $10,000, A whole bunch of people putting in millions and hundreds and 200 grand. But even wealthy families don't get, nobody's ever called you and said, hey, you want to invest in this deal?
Not at all.
Because guys like me typically don't get these deals. I got $4 billion worth of real estate, man. I had to pull teeth to get this deal.
And so let's talk about the $1,000 or $2,000 somebody could put in it. This is not considered a flip, right? This is not you got to put your money in there. You got to let it sit. You got to let it mature. What's the typical, what's the time frame people are looking at when you say the next time it sells? You got an idea or?
Yeah. So I got 3 exits. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you buy a house, you have basically one exit. I'm gonna live here a little while, and I hope somebody comes along, a doctor comes along, buys my house and pays more than I paid. That's one exit.
Mm-hmm.
You really never want one exit. We have 3 exits on every piece of real estate. I got 12,000 apartments today. So keep that in mind, 12,000. My goal is to get to 40,000 and beyond. So just keep that in mind while I give you the 3 exits. So the first exit is I buy this deal. It's in Los Olas, Fort Lauderdale. It's 456 units. It's 200 plus million. Okay. It's over 200 million. I'm not going to give you the exact number because I don't want the property taxes jacked on me. Okay. And neither do the investors. It's a way for us to save some money. So we buy the entity of the property, not the actual, we own the apartments, but the apartments are owned underneath this entity. Mm-hmm. So 3 exits. Okay. I'm going to put $60 million down to buy this deal with my money. Okay. I'll put $69 million down. I'll put the debt on the deal. So there'll be debt and my equity. I close the deal December 10th, and then I offer it to my investor friends, people that follow me. A bank cannot call me up and say, I want a piece of this deal. Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch, none of your brokers, no broker ever gets a fee from me. I don't pay anybody. So when you send me $1,000 max or 10,000, 100% of the money goes into the deal. Okay. Mm-hmm. But that can only happen after I close it and you come in at the same price I did. Now, here's the 3 exits. Number 1, somebody comes along and says, hey man, I'll pay you 260 million. Let's say 200 was the price. Mm-hmm. I'll pay you 260. I have to make whatever I put in it, 69 million cash. I need at least 69 million on top of that to even consider selling. So the first exit is just merely a double on our money. Okay. That means every investor would get passive income for the length of time, maybe 3 years. And I think I can double in 3 years easily because rents are going to go up. A double in 3 years. Okay. A better exit is we wait more than 3 years. We wait 4 or 5 years. And I go, because the rents go up, I go refinance the property and return the 69 million to the investors. This is a much better solution than exit 1. Because when I send you back, let's say me and you split the deal, Max. I put 35 million in, you put 35 million in. Just me and you on the deal. Mm-hmm. Okay. I call you up in 5 years in 2025, 26. Hey, Max, I'm sending you back your 35 million. I'm going to get my 35 million. And then you're going to be like, well, did we sell the property? No, Max. I'm just giving you your money back and we're going to keep the property. Mm. And we have no money in it now, Max.
And now we cash.
Well, man, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to the income? We're going to keep getting it forever, bro. Okay. Next time we sell this, it might be 20 years from now. It might be 30 years. Mm-hmm. We don't have any money in. Or maybe every 10 years, Max, I refinance the property and we just grab a big bag. Okay. Now, when I send you 35 million back and when I get my 35 million back, the tax implication is 0. This is what Elon Musk was saying the other day. See, we don't want income. Okay. We want our investment back and I want to own the asset. I want to own own the golden goose. I don't want to sell. Rich people sell shit. Wealthy people never sell anything. Mm-hmm. The third exit. Okay. Because I'm a big thinker. I'm a little guy and a big thinker. I've always been a little guy, man, but I always wanted to be a big guy. Okay. So the bigger game is this. I'm going to go from 12,000 to 40,000 units, from $4 billion of real estate to 40 billion. And I'm going to take this whole big bag, this giant bag, and I'm going to bring it to New York. I'm going to fly my plane up to New York City. I'm going to get a meeting with 3 groups. But I've already mentioned their names. And I'm going to walk into the room and say, I got a $40 billion bag, bitch. Who wants it? And I'm going to choke one of these groups out.
Yo, Grant, you're aggressive, man, but I like it. I like it.
Check it out. Check it out. I'm gonna choke one of these. I'm gonna choke some of the wealthiest people in the world out, and the marginalized are gonna get a payday off the backs of the wealthy. Okay, this is a Robin Hood move right here, man.
So let's talk about that. In 2012, Obama passed the Job Act, right, to allow non-accredited investors to be able to do that. So,
thank God. Thank God.
We're talking
most important. Yeah.
So we're talking 10 years has passed. Why has this not been available to minorities? Because let's be frank, my audience is 60% minority. They're probably thinking, you know, what does this work? How is this not a scam? Why hasn't this been a play for the last 10 years that since everybody can invest? Because let's think about this. Grant, I'm sure you know as much as I know, the African-American community spends $2 trillion a year in BS, the BS brands and all that crap you talked about before.
Yeah.
Why hasn't this been a play for the marginalized and specifically the African-American community prior to this, right? There's been crowdfunding. This is nothing new, but why haven't we been able to get involved in the Class A assets and stuff like that?
Yeah, because you know, no offense, guys, but we're hypnotized by the banks. We're marginalized by the banks, okay? And until the African-American community quits funding the masters of the universe. Mm-hmm. I don't know any other know. I'm not trying to like trigger anybody. But
no, say it. I want you to speak. I want you to speak exactly how people know who you are.
Yeah, you guys like this game has been run down on the black, brown, and lower middle class people for freaking 100 years. This is not a new game. This is not a new game. It's not intended just to beat you up. They want to beat everybody up, bro. Mm-hmm. They don't want black money. They don't want brown money. They want all the money. Okay, there's 250 million millionaires. The people I can't help in this country are white middle class people because they think they're good. They think they're good. They the dumbest of the group, all the groups, because they're like, oh, we so good, man. My wife's getting her nails done. We got a country club that's paid for. We got 2 kids. We got good schools. We got a little fence around our house. They're so hypnotized. It's impossible to talk to them. Now, your community has been ravaged for so long that you're like, man, what is wrong? Y'all know something's wrong, okay? Now, you got to go from blaming the game to saying, hey, I want to play the game. Mm-hmm. I'm playing the game at the top level now because I quit looking at my neighbors. I quit comparing myself to my uncle. And I quit worrying about Warren Buffett. Mm-hmm. And I started saying, who's above the Warren game? Okay, this is what most people do. They go out and work. And this is why so many people are sick of working. They go out and work, they get money, they pay taxes, and they look up, they buy the Gucci. And then somebody says, man, you shouldn't buy the Gucci. You should buy the Gucci stock. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't buy the fucking Gucci stock either. Okay, you should buy the damn business that rents to Gucci. You should buy the real estate. You should buy the real estate where the Gucci employees have to live, where the Facebook employees have to live. And because I get write-offs with that I don't get with the stock. So when I get paper, okay, what happens is the marginalized communities are basically buying the leftovers of the real estate environment, okay? You're buying a house, a duplex, a fourplex. I stole something down the street in inner city Baltimore. It's a fourplex. I got it with 3% down. Notice the banks offer you these unbelievable deals to veterans, to buy a house, a first-time house buyer. And they say to you, oh, man, we're doing this to help you get the American dream. They ain't helping you. This is a casino, man. Anything they offer you is not for you. It's for them. They earn 5% a year while you hope to make 20% over 20 years. 5% times 20 years is 100% you pay to the bank. And they said they're doing you a favor with no money down, okay? So it's not a favor. So what I would do, go out and earn money, take the money, don't spend any of it, convert all of it to real buildings, okay? I can invest $1,000 in a real building, and if you're out buying this stuff yourself, you can probably get a $1,000 write-off from the depreciation that comes on the building. So you virtually didn't spend any money, but now you control a real asset. Mm-hmm. I would tell people, quit buying what they offer you. Invest in trophy quality assets that the biggest institutions in the world buy. If you guys put your money together and did that, rather than trying to do your own damn thing, see, I'm helping other people. There's going to be thousands of people that invest in these deals with me. Tens of thousands, probably millions of people are going to give me $5,000 checks. I'm going to buy great assets. I'm going to pass on all the benefits to the investor, the cash flow, the appreciation, all the things that come from owning a real asset. And then we're just going to wait. I'm going to build my portfolio and wait until I can actually go sell all these assets to one group, or the fourth exit, we become a bank ourselves.
Okay. And so you
and
start
nobody
loaning
stopped
up.
that thing. Well, we start exactly. We start, not
Okay.
me. We start playing the game and get on the other end of it. But right now, everybody's just a consumer, right? You got to become an investor in the game. And then you got to invest in something big enough to where these people need you. Man, the whole game's rigged, right? Like, nobody cares about me or you until we've done something.
Mm-hmm.
When I got $4 billion worth of assets, I can get a meeting with anybody in the world. Because I'm going to call up and say, look, I got $4 billion on my books. What's your name, man? Okay, now it matters, okay? Jay-Z, he can get a meeting with anybody because of his equity positions, not because of his cash positions, and not just because he's a rapper, not just because he's a celebrity. So I would just tell the audience, think different, okay? You have been marginalized, you have been used, you've been ripped off. Now you know, okay? A house is not an investment. What Barack Obama did in 2000, what was it, 2004?
12, I think it was.
12. Until 2016, the non-accredited really couldn't come play the game.
Mm-hmm.
The 2004 Jobs Act was for, or 2012 Jobs Act was for still the accredited investor to crowdfund. That law changed in 2016, if I'm not wrong, so that the everyday $1,000, 98% of all people in America are non-accredited. Okay. If you make 150 grand a year, you're non-accredited. If you make 200, you're accredited. So check this out. Check how rigged this deal is. I have a sister who's a non-accredited investor. She cannot invest in my past funds. She couldn't. I didn't know this until I started trying to do this. My sister could not invest with me because she only made $80,000 a year, even though she's known me for 63 years. Okay. Now, somebody I don't know that earns 200 grand a year can invest with me. And doesn't mean they're smarter. If my sister made $199,999, she couldn't invest with me. She made one more dollar, she could. That doesn't make any sense, man.
So it's just intentionally keeping the marginalized community out. I mean, that's the only way I can look at it.
The very group that needs the investment the most can't play. So now I'm going to give you another example of how rigged this game is. And I'm not resentful, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me how the game works, man. I'm going to get on the other side of it. So when we started a fund, we started raising money 3 years ago. I've only been raising money for 3 years. I've raised $700 million in 3 years on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube.
Crazy.
So I've been around for 30 years, calling on companies for 30 years. I've never ripped anybody off. Some people don't like me. They're like, oh man, he's too raw. He's got too much swag. He's a big talker. He talks too fast. Blah, blah. I don't think I can trust him. Blah, blah, whatever. Nobody. You can't find one person that ever said I took $1 from him. I take $1 from you, you're going to get $10 back. Okay. So 3 years ago, I wanted to open a fund for everyone. Okay. My lawyer said, you can't do that, man. You can open a fund for $200,000 and above. It costs us about $9,000 to open that fund, Grant. I can have it approved in 9 hours. Costs you $9,000 for the legal work, and it'll take you 9 hours. You can, if we start at noon, you can talk about it tonight at 9 o'clock.
Wow.
I said, okay, start that. Let's get going. I said, but I want to start this other fund, dude, for the little guy, the everyday guy, my mom. I want to start the fund for the people that need it, man. And he's like, man, you don't want to do that, man. I said, why? He's like, they're going to be trouble. I said, why? Everybody's non-accredited in the beginning, man. Elon was non-accredited. Steve Jobs was non-accredited. Bill Gates was a non-accredited investor. Okay, Oprah was a non-accredited investor. I was a non-accredited investor. It don't make me stupid or dumb. It just means we all start with nothing. He says, Grant, you don't want to do it, man. I said, why? He's like, well, the costs are prohibitive. I said, why? Why would the cost be prohibitive? You told me it cost $9,000. He's like, it's going to cost about $300,000 in 9 months.
Wow. So
I said, why?
Even the process.
Why? Check this out.
Wow.
I said, why, man? Oh, the SEC wants to protect the little guy. I said, who put the SEC there? There was a time when there was no SEC. Oh, well, the SEC was formed by Wall Street. Wall Street thought it was important to regulate. The banks thought it was important to regulate. Okay, who came up with it? Oh, the banks and Wall Street. So the banks and Wall Street want to protect Max from Grant. Oh, yeah. I said, wait a minute, man. Why? If they want to protect it, why don't they make it $3,000 in 3 minutes? $300,000 in 9 months. They don't want me getting your money, bro. They want your money. They want control of your money. So I'm just telling you guys, I spent $300,000 before we raised 1 penny on this deal so that people could invest with me. I'm going to get 10 million little people, everyday investors, black, brown, men, women, boys, girls, 18 years and older. They're going to give me $1,000, $5,000. I'm going to build the biggest fund ever for marginalized community in the history of the United States of America. We're going to buy trophy great assets where you can't lose money, virtually impossible to lose money on these assets. They're going to cash flow. We're going to pay people every quarter. And we're going to do that for the next 5 or 10 years. It's a long play. I'm going to build a massive fund, $40 billion, and we're going to change the game. And we're going to let the everyday investor play in these trophy assets because Blackstone, Goldman Sachs, none of these guys are ever going to call you, Max, and say, hey, I want you to invest with me. You'll never get that call. You need $1 billion of cash to get that phone call.
That's crazy. You know, Grant, I've been hearing you using this term quite a bit here lately, calling yourself the Robin Hood of real estate. Now, explain to me who you're taking from and who you're giving to. I know you just gave this with this whole thing, but tell me why that was important for you to say that.
Well, somebody else said that to me 2 nights ago. I said, dude, that is awesome, bro. And by the way, I shoot a bow and arrow at my house. I practice with a bow and arrow. So I said, you know, I like that Robin Hood thing, you know? So, you know, here's the deal. Like, I grew up with nothing, man. I just wanted a break. I didn't want a handout. I just wanted a break. I've been buying real estate for 30 years. I know how hard it is to buy this stuff.
Yeah.
When I call up and this deal's, I'm looking at a deal right now, it's $400 million. We're going to close $750 million before the end of the year. And when I close that, I'm looking at that my next deal will be $400 million right after that. So you got to understand, when I go try to buy a $400 million, one property for $400 million, who else is trying to buy it?
The big guys, institutions.
These are monsters, bro. These are not people that you ever see on TV. Mm-hmm. They are the hidden recesses. These are the freaking magicians of the universe. And I am played. This is truly a David and Goliath story. This is a little punk that made it, competing against people that they could do that to me. So this is literally Robin Hood stealing great real estate from who has traditionally controlled all these assets. And like the last deal I did, this Los Olas deal, mm-hmm. Mark Zuckerberg was looking at this deal, man. Okay. I beat Marky Boy out of this. But the company that came in second, I came in first. The company that came in second could gobble up Mark in 5 seconds. The reason I got it over the big insurance company that was trying to buy it is because I was willing to put my money at risk the same day I looked at it.
Mm.
And that big company cannot do that because they have shareholders.
You got board members, all that
So
stuff.
what I do is I don't have shareholders when I buy the deal. I buy the deal under my name and my debt. And then once I close, I then open it up to the people that follow me online. So I'm hoping we announced this last Friday. We had 13,000 people register to invest in this fund. $40 million came in the first 5 days, 40 million in commitments.
So what's your goal? What's your goal over the next, because you're going to close in December. What's your goal? What you want to reach?
We'll reach $75 million.
And how many
from non-accredited?
And how many investors you think that's going to bring? How many investors you think you're going to need to do that?
I think that's probably going to be done. Probably 3,000 investors.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because most people are putting in way more than $1,000.
Yeah.
The smart, because there's a lot of smart non-accredited investors out there.
Of course.
There's people that have IRAs and 401ks, self-employed people. You got the money's dead in the market. I mean, we're looking at stock markets today. This is the graph of today's stock market. Anybody's in that stock market, the ETF funds, any of that stuff. This is we're in bubble territory. When you see a chart like that,
mm-hmm.
It's only happened one other time in history.
It's got to go down, right?
I mean, I don't know. It's going to go down sometime. It's a bubble. We're in bubble. We're also moving into hyperinflation. And there's no better place to be when you hit hyperinflation than real assets.
That's true.
Real property.
That's true. So Grant, where can people find out more about this? Because I'm sure it's moving fast. People are going to want to get in. Where are they going to go?
Yeah, go to cardonecapital.com, cardonecapital.com. And I'm doing everything I can to help people do this. I funded this. There's no fees. You don't get it. You don't get feed. $10,000, $10,000 goes in. You can't do this with a middleman or a broker. You can't do it through a bank. CardoneCapital.com. We've been approved by the SEC, approved in 48 states. I'm waiting on Florida and Washington to approve me right now. I know they will. It's just hung up in their
formality or something like that.
Yeah, their process. I've bought and sold over 12,000 apartments. I've been through every cycle. Your audience needs to know I've never lost money in a real estate deal, and I've never lost somebody's money investing with me in a deal. The paperwork you guys sign is the same exact paperwork my sister signs. And I'm hoping people continue to support me in doing this so I can make a difference.
And so, Grant, if somebody decides to put in $5,000 or $10,000 today, and they go on CardoneCapital.com, how long will it take them to go from making that decision to getting that money to you?
I think, to getting the money to me, or when they get their first check?
No, getting the money to you to invest.
Oh, you can. I mean, most people transact the first 15 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Money. You sign the paperwork. You send the $5,000, $10,000 in. Money goes and sits in an escrow fund. It waits for me to close, and then it goes into the deal. Okay.
Right.
We closed December 10th on this deal. I'm closing this deal whether people put money in or not. Doesn't matter. If nobody comes in, I buy the deal and keep it for my family. So I'll be happy with the deal. Like I know I'm gonna make a double or a triple. Probably gonna make a better deals to make infinite return. Send everybody their money back, and we just keep the asset, and then go do a second one, a third one, a fourth one. They'll get a check 4 times a year out of cash flow of the property every quarter. The first payment, if they come in December, should probably be February, where people would get their first little drip.
Mm-hmm.
And then as rents go up, the drips get bigger. And then somebody comes along, they're going to be like, this is a one-of-a-kind asset. This is AAA location, AAA amenities. Can't build it again. You can't. A hurricane can't take it down. A tornado can't take it down. A fire can't take it down. Even if that happened, it would be protected from insurance. If inflation hits this building, this thing could be worth $500 million. You can't make that kind of money in a house. You know, and that's the last thing I would tell everybody. It's like, guys, quit buying what these people want you to buy.
Yeah.
Okay. You run out, you bust your ass, you get money, and you bring it to Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, the local community bank.
And they don't loan
We
it to
want your
people like me and you. They don't loan it to people
dude.
like
They
my
don't
audience.
even give you the money, bro. They're not going to even give you the money back. You know what they do? They call me up. Hey, Max just dropped off 20 grand. You want to borrow, Grant? You guys are already funding my deals.
Yeah.
You understand?
This has been amazing, Grant, and in the respect to your time. I know you got a lot of things to do, and you're moving and shaking. But look,
This is the most important. This is the most important thing I'm doing right now.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad you're here to share it with us. I know this is going to go well. I hope it goes well, and I hope we do more, because I there's some things that I'm going to challenge you when this fund's closed and it's done. I want you to go into some of these other marginalized communities, and I want you to, because you're a master on social media. Period. All right, you know that, right? You just said you raised all your money from social media. When this fund closes, I want you to start looking into some of these communities and take some assets and make them AAA in places that typically are not AAA, so that everybody.
Yeah, like where?
Well,
give me a city.
I mean, there's even places in Miami you can do it that's not directly on the waterfront, right? And I don't know much about Miami or Florida, but you know more about real estate across the country than I do. You go in there.
Give me a city, man. Give me a city. Give me a challenge, man.
Come to Charlotte. I'm in North Carolina. Come to Charlotte, North Carolina, and make something happen.
Great market, by the way. Tremendous market. This should be done in Charlotte. Okay.
Let's make it happen.
Where else? Give me another one, man. I got about $40 billion worth of real estate, bro. I need more than Charlotte.
Listen, I'm a North Carolina guy, so anything in North Carolina would be great because I love my state. Okay. And so, if you ever come to North Carolina, you let me know, and I'll make sure.
You got it. The other thing is, I want to invite you to my 3-day real estate conference here in Miami. You get down here, I want to make you a VIP guest at that event.
I'd love to. Let's do it.
Okay, because the other thing I want to do is I want to teach more people the game that I'm playing. So there's more of us playing the game to compete those guys playing this game. Guys, I can't fight this. I can't do this by myself.
Yeah.
These guys are giants. They have endless, like when they get a whiff of what I'm doing, like they don't even know how I'm doing what I'm doing.
You know, they go come after you, Grant. You know they are.
You know they are, man. And I need a tribe. I need like 10 million people to support me, man. Maybe me and you run for president one day.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Grant, it's been awesome, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Much success to you, and I'll see you soon.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.